Good morning, Guyana. Welcome to the next Soul Boost. So, did you all have fun spending time with your best friend yesterday? Did you keep up your appointment? Talk to your mind, spend time with your mind. Today, we're going to explore on the theme. People say, didn't you think before you did? But today's theme is think before you think. Yeah? So, I'm going to share a short story which really had an impact on my life in understanding this process. There was an old man who was sitting very worried, and his grandson comes to the grandfather, says, "Grandpa, why are you so worried?" And the grandfather says, "There is a war going on between the two wolves in my mind." Said, "There's a war between the two wolves in your mind?" Says, "Yes. There is one wolf which is very kind, very compassionate, generous, understanding, loving, cooperative, helping. And there is another wolf which is mean, which is competitive. There is comparison, there is criticism, gets angry, there is ego, there is greed, laziness, carelessness, hatred. There's a war or a fight going on between these two. The child is very curious. Grandpa, who is going to win? Think about it. We all have this war going on in my mind, in our minds, what I should, what I shouldn't. And we have these two personalities. You know what the grandfather said to the grandson? The one you feed will win. The one you feed will win. Whether it was the good wolf or the, the bad wolf. Said, where the attention goes, energy will flow. And where the energy will flow, things will grow. What am I feeding? What am I feeding? Where is my attention? Where is the energy focused? Yesterday we were talking about mind being the stage, and the actors are all these thoughts, different actors which come and perform. There's thoughts of goodness, there's thoughts of ways, there's so many thoughts which come. Do we implement all of that? Thank God, no. We have a very good mechanism inside us, and that is called the intellect, buddhi, the ability. It is like, in common words, because we're talking about it's like a director. If you're talking about the stage and actor, it's a director. And if we think of thoughts to be like vehicles, the intellect is like a traffic police which tells, stop, halt, not you. Okay, this side can go. Now you stop, the other side can go. It's the intellect that understands, that analyzes, that discerns, decides. What if I implemented this thought in my life? What if I spoke like this? What will be the consequences? What if I did this? What is the impact of it on my life or impact of it on others' life? Did we even pause? We always do this. But when we consciously use this, the intellect becomes sharper. We all have an intellect. Meditation is a process which cleans the intellect. It's like a lens, right? It's like a powerful lens. A lens will help us see something small, it'll magnify it and show us big. It is like a lens which we can see something far off as if it's happening right in front, like a telescope. And also a periscope which tells us what's happening around, the impact of the thought that I'm creating, the intent of the thought, the consequence of the thought on everything. It's able to analyze. But if my lens is the most powerful one, but if it has dust on it, if it is colored, if it has biases by what I've read, what I've heard, what people have told me, my own experiences sometimes colors the intellect. Meditation is a process where I can clean my intellect so I can see clearly, I can see the bigger picture, the whole picture. Meditation is a process of just calming the mind and cleaning the intellect. And an intellect can work well when there is wisdom, when there is knowledge. We need both of this to understand, to make the right decisions. We do a practice, like yesterday, we did a practice of making our mind our best friend and spending time with him. Today, we're going to do a practice called as SOS. It says save our soul, but no. SOS is slow down, observe, and steer. Slow down, observe, and steer. Before you start doing anything, whether you were just deciding to go out of the house, just before you open the door, pause. SOS. Slow down, observe, steer. So, what we're going to do today, you're going to stop physically doing, when children play freeze, you stop, you froze. So, you're going to physically stop whatever you're doing, stop it, sit down. Okay, then what? The body is still, it froze, but the mind, the vehicles are moving in the traffic of many, many kilometers per hour. So in this SOS, I slow down, I center myself, I go within, I observe the thoughts. You might be having to make a decisions very quickly. Sometimes you have to make decision, fast decision, something important, even Monday, we have to decide. When you just center yourself, calm your mind, just observe, see the whole picture. As you center yourself, see where my thoughts were. Redirect it to your true self, to your inner self, to your inner calm, peaceful self, the star that you are. And then come. It was going elsewhere, you're going to turn around. No, come back, come back. And when you start clearing and you see the bigger picture, when the river, the water is flowing, sometimes you can't see. When it just becomes still, the silt will settle and then you can see clearly what's beneath. So similarly, when you take this SOS moment, this pause moment, your mind, the thoughts will settle. Just become an observer, not to be coming from like the first person, like a third person. I'm going to observe. See the whole picture like a periscope, like a telescope, and like a microscope. And see, what am I feeding? Think before you think. Am I creating the right thought? Means, am I creating with the right intent? When there is inner harmony, when there is inner clarity, the outside world also becomes clear for us. People will say, do this, do that, you shouldn't, you should have. Arey, didn't you do this? Listen to all of that, you hear all of them, acknowledge, but you consciously check, what does your conscience say? You internally know what is right and what shouldn't be. To make the right decision, I should be in the right frame of mind. Yeah? So with this practice of SOS, and to check, what am I feeding today? Am I feeding, what wolf am I feeding? Let's not even call them wolf. No, it's our mind, our friend. What part of my friend am I feeding today? So let's do a short SOS before you start your day. Sit comfortably. And as you sit comfortably and become aware of everything, you know the task ahead, whatever you were doing, they're all there. And they can all wait for the next few moments. This time is for me. This time is for me to feed my inner true self. I've been listening to advices, guidance, directions from media, from people, from every instrument of the outside world. Let me check with the director inside. And as I turn my attention inward, I touch the core of the being that I am. A beautiful energy at the center of the forehead. An energy that is peaceful and calm. And as you start feeling the peaceful being that you are, just observe your best friend, your mind. It's giving a lot of suggestions. And as you're centered and see the big picture, as you detach from your role that you're playing, and observe the soul, the intent of these thoughts, the impact of this thought, word, or action. Ask yourself, should I even be thinking about this? How should I be speaking? What words should I be choosing to speak? And what should be my action be, or my interaction be? And allow your inner peaceful self to guide you. You know the truth. And in this silent space, it just becomes clear what you should, what you shouldn't, how much, and how to. And once it is clear, on the screen of your mind, see yourself doing it, implementing it. As an observer. Now come back to the space that you are, the role that you're playing. So, as you pass through the day, as you continue to spend time with your best friend, let's also do SOS. Check with the inner director, check with the inner traffic police before we start to do anything, whether it was before you wanted to drink a glass of water, getting onto that bus, or starting your car to go to work, before you start cooking, before you start reading. Before you start doing anything, just take a moment, boost your soul, check inside, and then step out. Have a wonderful day. See you again. Thank you.